You're now listening to All Hog Sports, covering all Arkansas Razorback sports, such as football, basketball, baseball, and much more. Now, here's your host for today's show, Sam Stimson.
For the fourth time in the past 4 seasons, your Arkansas Razorbacks are headed to the NCAA Super Regionals. Dave Van Horn on this squad just keep racking in postseason wins within the regionals. Arkansas won the Stillwater Regional at Oklahoma State, but it certainly was not easy. In today's podcast, I'll be recapping those 4 games that Arkansas played, 3 of those against Oklahoma State, and basically a 2 out of 3 series, and then the opener game against Grand Canyon. Now, starting off with Game 7 of the regional, Arkansas winning that one 7-3. The hitting was extremely solid for the Razorbacks all around, and so was the defense and the pitching. Everything just kind of came together, and Arkansas were the game that they needed it the most. It got started in the top of the 4th. Slavens cranked out a solo home run, and then Battles drove in 2 runs on an outfield single that he ended up getting to second after the throw to first, and then Stovall singled to right. The lineup this weekend also I loved. The way that it was set up was perfect for this Arkansas team. Braden Webb batting leadoff, then Slavens, Wallace, then Turner, Lanzilli, Moore, Battles, Stovall, and then Gregory. The way that this lineup was set up for Arkansas, I think really helped the hitting get everything right. If you look at Arkansas and the hitting from this weekend, I think it's the best that we've seen in a long time within the last few weeks. The main thing that I think Arkansas did was able to, not always get ahead in counts, willing to watch balls and just take those and get some walks, especially against Oklahoma State on the first game. They were really doing that. I mean, there was a point where multiple runs were walked in. They scored 20 runs in one night, and then the next night on Sunday, Arkansas put up a solid 10 runs, but lost in that one in 10 innings. Arkansas, though, hitting-wise, really great weekend, especially out of Michael Turner. Turner had 2 RBIs on the finale game, and then had the clutch base knock within the top of the 9th to get Arkansas a little bit more of a lead. At the top of that 9th, Arkansas had Webb and Wallace were on base, and then Turner ended up getting a nice double to right field. Both of those guys came in, gave Arkansas a little bit more of a lead cushion to go into the bottom of the 9th. And closing out the game for the Razorbacks was Hagen Smith. Smith was fantastic. He was all nails in this final game. Coming into close, I think, was an interesting position because he really hasn't done that at all this year. But Dave Van Horn said that Smith texted and was like, hey, I'm ready to go tomorrow. I feel good, and I want to put myself out there in a position to win. And he did just that. In his start, he only pitched 1.1 innings, 2 earned runs, got pulled pretty early in that one, but he was fantastic closing out this game, getting the save, his first one of the season. 2 innings pitched, no hits allowed, no runs allowed, no earned runs, only walked once. Out of his 6 outs recorded, 4 of them were strikeouts, one of those strikeouts being on Oklahoma State hitter Rock Reggio. Reggio was fantastic for Oklahoma State this weekend. I think he totaled like 25-plus at-bats and had 15-plus hits. In those, he had a double off Ramage earlier in the game. But the main thing was the bases were loaded. Smith came into a situation with 2 on. I think walked 1 in some time frame of that, got a strikeout, and it was 2 outs, Reggio at the plate, and Smith just all nails got that strikeout. And you could watch the energy from Turner, and Turner has been fantastic for Arkansas, named the MVP of the Stillwater Regional. His hitting delivered at the plate with that clutch hit within the 9th, and then earlier in the game, the pickoff to first, and his defense and framing was at a top-notch level this weekend. The level and the intensity that he plays with the Razorback uniform on is so awesome to see. Really, pitching was fantastic. Zack Morris ended up getting a start. He went 3 innings and 1 out, which is about what Arkansas needed. I said before the game to myself that I think if we could get a solid 3 or 4 out of him, we'd be good. And then put Ramage out there because he didn't pitch in the previous game. And then you obviously had Vermillion. And then to close the game is kind of, I'm not really sure. And Smith showed up and delivered big time for Arkansas. Ramage ended up getting the win, though, as when he was pitching, Arkansas took the lead in the 4th. Hitting, though, this weekend was, getting 8 hits in the regional finale game was fantastic. The main thing for this one is just everything kind of came together perfectly for Arkansas. Wallace's defense was fantastic this weekend. So was his hitting. He brought it. Wallace on the barehanded throw to first to get it out, and then on the squeeze bunt, throwing it to second to get the out, and then Moore even had a play where he was playing deep, almost into the right field grass. He ran all the way back there, got the ball, and threw him out at first. The Razorback defense and the whole team was playing like a team that was super regional bound, and they were able to get there. Great job by this team, though, in really responding back after the extra innings loss on Sunday. Now, Sunday night's game was a situation where Oklahoma State had to win basically 2 baseball games within 10 hours to move on. They had faced Missouri State in the earlier elimination game and were down 12-0, ended up winning. They scored 29 runs in that game. Then later in a 10-inning game against Arkansas, they scored 14 runs, and it really started off early for the Razorbacks. Slavin's bottom of the first ended up getting a single with Webb scoring, and then top of the second, Oklahoma State put up 3, Arkansas responded, and then within the 4th and 5th, Oklahoma put up 2 in the 4th, 1 in the 5th, and then we went into the 8th inning and was a situation where Arkansas was looking at a one-run deficit because it was only 7-6, and then Wallace ended up grounding into a fielder's choice, so Slavins was out to second. Webb advanced, and then Rockregio made a throwing error and ended up getting Webb to score, and then Arkansas took the lead on an absolute electric home run by Michael Turner, scoring Caden Wallace. So then you go to the top of the 9th. Cowboys score, put up 2 runs, and then Arkansas has to respond. Slavin's up at the plate with Stovall and Gregory from the bottom of the lineup on base, and he delivers a single to right, scoring those 2. And then we go to the top of the 10th, and Tigers out there for Arkansas, and Oklahoma State puts up 4. Starks finishes the inning, and then Arkansas does not score in the bottom of the 10th. Now, there's a lot of talk around Dave Van Horn and the managing of the bullpen, and I think it made sense in the moment to be like, whoa, we're putting Nolan out there to try to finish this game off with the lead. Like, he's normally our starter, and he just pitched on Friday, and then he didn't have it. He obviously said he wanted the ball and wanted to perform there, and then Tress came in and it delivered. It ended up closing out the inning with no earned runs. And you put Tigert out there, who's everybody's choice beforehand to close the game in the 9th, and then he didn't deliver. In this situation, though, it's really tough because you put out Nolan, Tress, and Tiger, and then Tress kind of gets in. He's known to not go that many innings, and then it's a situation of who do you put in. I don't think it really cost Arkansas much, though, as they obviously took care of business and still had enough pitching the next day with Zack Morris, Gregory, Smith, and Vermillion. But I think it's okay to question that decision a little bit. But at the end of the day, I really don't think it's that big of a deal that it was made out to be. It just kind of, is one thing that fans will point to. Arkansas, though, Will McIntyre, he delivered a fantastic performance when needed. 5.1 innings pitched after Wiggins only went 1.1. Wiggins has kind of struggled within the last few weeks, and Smith has kind of done the same. Nolan pitched a gem on Friday for starting pitchers, looking at those. But a Smith rebounding, gives me hope that when we probably start him in Chapel Hill, he'll be, kind of have that edge to him. But Wiggins, it's kind of nervous. Do you put him back out there, or do you put McIntyre out there, or do you save Will to be one of your best bullpen options? There's certainly a lot of questions that Matt Hobbs and Dave Van Horn are going to have to make for the pitching, which is why I'm really interested to see what the rotation goes with for the next game in Chapel Hill, the Super Regional. The hitting was fantastic for Arkansas in this game. 14 hits recorded, 10 runs scored. Caden Wallace was 3 for 6 at the plate with 3 RBIs. Brady Slavens 2 for 4, 3 RBIs. Michael Turner, 2 hits and 6 at-bats and had 2 RBIs. These guys were fantastic for Arkansas all weekend long and delivered big time in this game. But as it kind of got to the end, it was a situation where Arkansas had a limited amount of guys that were healthy enough to pitch, and the guys that went out there obviously didn't perform that well, and Oklahoma State took advantage of that situation and ended up winning that one. Oklahoma State went with McLean, the third baseman, on the mound to close the game. He had 2 innings pitched, 2 earned runs. He was great in the 10th inning, but in the game beforehand, he walked a lot of guys for Arkansas, and that's how Arkansas scored a lot. But anyway, main thing to take away from Saturday's game is great hitting performance, but the rough start for Wiggins, and then McIntyre coming into the game was all right. Taylor kind of lost command towards the end. Nolan wasn't able to deliver. Truss wasn't able to go out for the 10th. It was Tigert, and then Starks was the closer after Tigert. The main thing, though, is, wasn't the end of the series, but I think it's good that Arkansas kind of overcame the, if this makes sense, like the feeling after like a tough loss, because it was, back and forth the entire game. Arkansas pulls out on top within the 8th, and then the 9th, just able to tie it up, and then they lose a heartbreaker, but they're able to, kind of rebound and push back in the next game, which is important. It's all about how you respond in any type of sports. Now, on Saturday's first game versus Oklahoma State, the Hogs absolutely raked at the plate, racking up 20 runs. Peyton Stovall was 3 for 5 at the plate. Arkansas is a leader on hits for the day. And the thing is with Peyton Stovall, he's done a really good since he came back from injury. There's a lot of high expectations for the freshman this season, and recently he's really, honestly, even exceeded those within the last few weeks. He was above 400 batting in this regional, and he's been doing fantastic, crushing the ball and playing a great job at first base, not letting balls get past him, really limiting those errors since he came back from his injury. He's been doing fantastic. Is it a key part of this Arkansas team? Chris Lanzilli being in the daily lineup is great for Arkansas as well. He was 3 for 5 in this game. Turner 2 for 4 at the plate. Robert Moore 2 for 3. And then Jalen Battles 2 for 6. Robert Moore, his defense has always been there, but getting his hitting there is key for this Arkansas team to really bring out, what I would say that Arkansas is, is made out of, and their offense that is effective. I mean, scoring 20 runs in one game is fantastic. Arkansas worked through a number of different pitchers. Hagen Smith for 1.1 innings, Taylor for 1. Lots of different guys coming out of the pen, giving it a shot. Ramage, Vermillion, Tigert, McIntyre. But the huge guy, which was really successful, was Zack Morris, 3 innings pitched, only 2 earned runs given away. And he's the guy that Arkansas also went to for the winner-take-all game on Monday. So again, him carving up Oklahoma State's lineup effectively was huge for Arkansas to find a guy who's able to take care of that. But what really got it going for Arkansas was the 7th inning rally. Going into the 7th, Oklahoma State was up 10-5. It looked very very doubtful that Arkansas was going to pull this off because it kind of went back and forth. It was like 1-1 after the first, and then after the second, it was 2-2. And then after the third, Oklahoma State took a giant 7-2 lead. Arkansas cut the fourth and fifth inning to 5-7. Then the sixth, Oklahoma State went up 10-5, and you kind of felt like, dang, like we may be facing an elimination game tomorrow and then playing Oklahoma State again if we win that. But then the seventh and eighth inning were huge for Arkansas. It all started off in the seventh. Turner hit a homer, Robert Moore hit a homer, and then in the eighth, there was two walked-in guys, just got free bases. Lanzilli got hit, and then another bat. Robert Moore was up at the plate. He got walked. And then here comes Jalen Battles at the plate, smoked a home run ball. And something about Battles is, he took, I think, what would be considered a little bit of a risk, to come back after a really solid season, and it paid off. And I'm so happy. I've loved watching Battles at shortstop provide one of the best middle infield defenses, and his bat has been there all season too. This home run, I think, kind of boosted his draft stock. If you remember, Charlie Welch really wasn't on many draft radars, and then he kind of got big hits as the designated hitter late into Arkansas season last year, and ended up getting drafted, and then has been doing good in the minor leagues. And then in the ninth, Hogs added some more run insurance to score 3 on a Lanzilli home run, and then put up 20. When it was all said and done, Robert Moore with 4 RBIs in this game, Battles with 4 as well, Lanzilli with 4, Turner with 4. I mean, anytime you have 4 guys recording 4 RBIs is a fantastic game at the plate. Main thing to take away from this one is Arkansas's bats have, finally got hot and put them in positions to win games when, pitching is struggling a little bit. Huge win, though. I think Arkansas setting themselves up by avoiding the elimination side of the bracket was really the biggest win outside of Game 7. Where it all got started for Arkansas was Friday's first game of the regional against Grand Canyon. Arkansas set up with a dominating 7-1 win. They got off to a hot start, scoring in the first inning with a Caden Wallace home run. The second really got things going. Webb getting an RBI with Stovall moving home Gregory to third. Wallace bringing him home, hit by a pitch. Turner singling to center, bringing home 2 more runs. Arkansas had a 5-0 lead early and commanded that in the rest of the game to win 7-1, getting 15 guys on base within the whole game and only allowing 1 run and 12 total bases. Arkansas drew 8 walks in this game against Grand Canyon. It was really effective. Arkansas pitching, just a duo of Connor Nolan, 7 innings pitched, 6 hits, 1 earned run. He was fantastic. Only had 3 walks on the day, 4 strikeouts as well. Great performance by him, and really, I feel like when this Arkansas team gets, solid pitching, the hitting can kind of follow up off of that and kind of build confidence off of each other. And I felt like it kind of did that in the later parts of some of the other games that Arkansas played, the high-scoring ones against Oklahoma State, but especially in this start against Grand Canyon. I mean, Grand Canyon really never things got truly going for them on offense. Arkansas did strike out 11 times. Not, like I said, not that concerning. Michael Turner, though, 3 for 4 within this game and a walk. 3 RBIs in this one. Caden Wallace, 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs. Those guys did fantastic, all regional and delivered against Grand Canyon. Arkansas getting to a good start against Grand Canyon. Like I said, just important to avoid that loser side of the bracket at all costs until they played that Game 7 elimination game. Cole Ramage in relief, 2 innings pitched, 2 hits. He's been really good in relief this year outside of 1 or 2 shaky times that he came in. He has done solid for Arkansas and provided, immediate relief out of the bullpen. Great move here. Really, though, just overall, Arkansas, took a commanding start to Stillwater and was able to get that after kind of a rough SEC tournament. Now, Arkansas does move on to face the number 10 national seed, the North Carolina Tar Heels, in the Super Regionals of the NCAA tournament. That Chapel Hill regional preview will be out Friday morning, and I'm doing it Friday morning because Saturday Arkansas plays at 10 a.m. Who decided that? That is an awful time to get things going very, very early for the fans, but the Razorback faithful will be up and rooting them on, and the podcast will be previewing the game. So, signing off for now, Woo Pig Suey.
That's all for today's episode of All Hog Sports with Sam Stimson. Make sure to stay tuned for the next episode covering all Arkansas Razorback sports. If you enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe and leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. Follow us on social media too. On Twitter and Instagram at All Hog Sports Pod. Like on Facebook at All Hog Sports and Arkansas Razorbacks Podcast. And on YouTube at that same name. Thanks for tuning in to today's episode. Go Hogs!